Hi, and welcome back to the Wordle with Python tutorial series. Make Wordle with Python. Oh yeah. We are going to get right into what we were working on last time, and I'm going to start by showing you the less elegant way of removing the words you don't want from a list. So, if you remember, we said we added this if w not in that space or space plus a new line character. So if we just remove that and look at our and run our program again, it looks like the following. Okay, so we can see we got a space here. There's a space here, and so funnily enough, what is happening is that the w.strip takes out the new line character, takes out the space, and so we end up with just an empty character. And there's a lot of them. If we were to, let's just see, if we undo what we did, and we say after we print the word list, we'll say print. We're gonna print. Yikes. Maybe we'll print the length of the word list. Okay. So we want to say how many words are in the word list. Okay. And there's 8,497 when we have gotten rid of all the crap characters we don't want. Now if I take out the crap character filter that we baked in, starting with the if statement there, okay, we have 9,347 words. And the reason is that basically there's no repeat words in there, I don't believe. I think it's all those spaces and new line characters. There's just that many spaces and new line characters on top of the 8,000 however many words we had. So what can we do about that if we didn't know how to do that special fancy if not in blah 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 blah? Well, the simplest way to do it after the fact would be to create a set, and then, well, we're gonna nest a creation of we're gonna create a set. What a set does is it gets rid of any repeated words in a list or any repeated items in a list. So a set, mathematical set, only contains one unique item of a kind. And then we're gonna turn it back into a list, and we can do that all in one line. And then we'll just remove the offending word or character. So that would look like the following. Word list equals list set word list. Okay, so I've nested this. Set makes a set out of word list. List makes a list out of the set word list. So we're back to where we started, except for we've gotten rid of all those repeated empty strings. And then we just need to come into our new word list and say word list dot remove empty string. So if I save that and I print the word list again, so right now we were at 9,347. We're back to 8,497. And you'll notice something else has happened too. When you make a set, it is an unordered, a non-indexed list. So it has totally jumbled up the words. If I run it again, it may or may not put everything in the same order. It did not put it in the same order. And so now we have unfur, taunt, redly, klein, roke. All these hilarious words in a random order now. Okay? And that's because of the nature of what set is. Set is a non-indexed, whatever you call it, class in Python that only cares about whether there are unique items in the set. So we made it a set, then we turned it back into a list, and we got rid of the empty string character. And so we could, again, just to be clear, right? We had that number 8,497 down in the corner there. If we go back here and write if w not in, and we say it's a space and a space and a new line character. All right. Now, if we ran this and we still made this list set word lists and remove, we would actually encounter an error because we've already pre-removed what would turn into the empty string. So the space in the new line character with the space, the strip function removes those characters, and so after the fact, it turns that word into just an empty string. And we've already pre-done that, so if we don't comment those lines out, then we would end up with an error. But 8,497 is the number we're going for. I didn't save it after I did that. And that's the error I was telling you about. You can't remove something that's not in the list. Okay. So 8,497. And the words are still in alphabetical order. So again, I think I prefer this as a way of removing words from the list, and we'll keep it like this. But I wanted you to be aware, sometimes there's no better alternative, or maybe conceptually it's going to be much easier for you to remove a word after the fact than figure out how to remove it before the fact. So let us move on. We've spent enough time on parsing words for now. We can get rid of these print statements if we like. So the next thing we're going to want to do is figure out how to choose a word from the list. Okay? To do that, we should go back up to the top and just check. We have already imported, from random, we've imported choice. We haven't used that anywhere yet. But one way we could get a word from our word list now would just be to say word equals choice word list. That is a pretty simple and elegant way. We're using the random library, and it should be randomly producing a word from our list of words. If we ask it to print the word that we've chosen now, we can run the program a few times and just verify that we're randomly getting a selected word. Clot, skoke, peony, that's a flower, shant, smirk. I smirk when I say shant. I actually didn't. Anyway, you can see that we're randomly getting words now, and that's great. That is the behavior we want, but we are running into this tiny problem that about half the words we're getting are stupid words we would never guess in a million years, and that would make the game not very fun. So, what we can do is we can just make a fake list here called test word list, all caps, and we're going to make a list, and we'll just add a few words to it. So we can make the word error. And we'll put a comma, go to a new line, apple. They all have to be 5-letter words, and we'd better keep with making them all lowercase. We can add a couple more words like cruel. Oops. Oh, comma. Let's see. Iconic. Wait a minute. Not iconic. Ionic. Iconic is too many letters. Some of you caught that, I'm sure. And we'll just say, what? Pizza. How about that? Okay. So we've got 5 words. And now we can just change which list we're drawing from. So we're going to draw from our test word list instead of our full word list. And now we can run let's make sure we've saved our code. I don't know if I did. I didn't. Alright, we save our code, and now we got apple, pizza, pizza, ionic, 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 apple, apple, ionic, error. Okay, great. So when you're picking from 5 random numbers, apparently, cruel is the odd man out here. But eventually, if I keep running this, it'll eventually come up with cruel. See? Right on cue. Okay. So again, we're seeing the behavior we want of randomly selecting the word. In this case, because we don't want to know what the word is. For it to be a game for us, we need to be able to have to guess the word. Okay. So I'm going to actually cut off our tutorial there because why not keep these kind of short? So we've figured out how to randomly select from the list of words we want to use. We've also dramatically shortened the list of words for our test case at the moment. And later on, much later on, we may figure out how to pare down our words so that we get rid of the stupid words we don't want. But as I keep promising, we're moving towards the actual logic portion where we're going to figure out how to parse through the letters of the word, figure out if they're in the right place or not, and then based on that, figure out what color to paint the words as they print on the screen. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Please stick around for the next one.